Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing amazing. So I want to make another video today about how we can be more at peace. Okay, well, the first one is we do need to change our environment or where we go. So a lot of times when we decide to do something new for the first time or just go to a new place, like it can be a gym or a class or a church or anything, we might pick things maybe by how if it's close to us or if we already have a friend going to these things or just by hearing that this place might be good, it can be recommended by anyone, and we might go to this place and then there might be things about it that we don't like. It can be even maybe the teacher, how they give the class, or it can be even the environment, like how the place looks. If it's maybe messy, if you don't like the way it looks, maybe it's a temporary place where they haven't fully remodeled it, but you might be in that place for a bit while you're able to go to the new place. But for example, the building might look really bad, like it might be all cement and it might be white, but then there will be a lot of gray spots and it can be very distracting where you are constantly like looking around because it looks messy, just not because that's how it's always going to be, but because they're making something better. But for now, until you are able to move into the new place, like everything just looks like a mess. It's not great. So rather than focusing on the good things, like on the teachings, what they're telling you, you don't feel comfortable. And a lot of people, they just aren't too accepted. And while there's things that you can accept, I think there's also other things like this one where you can actually change. So just because you've already been going to this place for a while and then you start feeling uncomfortable, don't decide that this is the place forever. We're not hermit crabs, like we can still move. Well, even hermit crabs, after a while, they grow out of it, they even change their shells. So I think we're able to do this as well. So you don't need to always commit to this gym. If you realize that there's things you don't like about it, you can always go to a different one. So it's not just because, oh, this one, it takes me like 5 minutes to get to it. There's one that maybe can be 8, but I think adapting and going to a different one might make you feel so much better, because I think if you stop liking it, then you might stop going altogether, rather than just realizing like, okay, well, maybe I don't quite like this one. What if there's another one that I will like? And if you don't like the next one, then keep switching until there's one right for you, because it's a lot better to find one where you actually feel really comfortable, rather than just have, there's things we cannot change, maybe like school, but for example, classes, church, those things you can actually change. So do try to find one that makes you feel more comfortable and at peace. Okay, another thing is we do need to slow down. So a lot of times we do tend to make things fast just because we think like, okay, the faster I do it, the quicker I can check it off and then I never have to deal with it again, or it's more of a competition of how quickly we can get things done. But if we rush, we tend to make more mistakes because we're focusing on just getting it over with rather than actually doing it correctly. So it might even be like an instrument or anything, or just the way we do certain things like tasks. We tend to quickly do it, and I think we need to slow down, focus on how to do it the right way. And then this way we can actually take time to slow down, realize how we can actually do it better. And it's more of a thing of doing it correctly rather than just like checking it. And we realize like, oh, well, I didn't do it right. We might also end up just not doing it ever again because we think like, oh, well, I sucked. I was terrible at it. We need to focusing on getting it correctly. In this way, we feel better about doing tasks right. Other thing is that we need to not be so hard on ourselves. We actually need to celebrate when we do little things, like when we complete certain tasks. So I think if we wanted to be like, okay, I'm gonna wake up today at 8 a.m. I'm gonna meditate as soon as I wake up, and then I will go to the gym. And I think if we then wake up and then, you know, for some reason we couldn't sleep that night, we end up waking up at 9:30, and already we start feeling really bad, like, oh, I can't believe I didn't wake up in time. Oh, I'm a failure. I'm probably not gonna now meditate and then go to the gym. And then we just focus on what we didn't do rather than actually what we can keep doing. So I think rather than just stopping and not continuing with your day, and then it's like, oh, well, I failed today, I'll just take the day off and then do it tomorrow. I think it's best to just keep on, like, carry on, you know? Okay, well, you didn't wake up then, but take some time for yourself rather than just jumping into the thing. So just, you know, okay, you didn't wake up in time, take half an hour to process everything, what it is you need to do, and then slowly start doing it. And then even if you didn't do the things you wanted to, make still a list of things that you wanted to do. It's like, okay, well, you didn't wake up at 8, but you still managed to wake up still at a certain time. So it's like, okay, you did that. Okay, you still managed to then go and brush your teeth, and then you cooked yourself some lunch. So rather than just feeling like a failure because of something you didn't do, just keep going with the things you did, and then you'll feel more happy and more at peace with the things you did. And this way, you know, we don't tell our brain that we failed, you know, by keep accepting the things that we did right. Okay, and this will be another thing as well. We should never lie to others, but more importantly to ourselves as well. Because when we keep lying to other people, you know, we know the truth. And knowing that we lied, knowing that we did something wrong, it's always gonna affect our conscience. And this is a really important step about feeling more comfortable and at peace. Because if we are not even truthful to ourselves, then we don't have ourselves, you know? How can we trust ourselves if we're constantly lying to others? We know this. So I think even a white lie can still hurt others and even ourselves, because we know that we're not doing the right thing. So by always staying truthful, being honest, being open, people are more likely to respect it. And there's still no reason, you know, if you're doing things correctly, then you shouldn't be having to lie. And this will always bring us more peace. We also need to clean, you know, we cannot have a lot of clutter. So by cleaning our surroundings, we feel better because our brain is processing everything that we see. And by hating everything that we see, like we start noticing it, we cannot do things right, or we can also feel like, oh, it's a mess, I need to clean it, but I won't. And we keep putting these tasks in our head how we should clean, but we don't. And it's worse for us because rather than just taking 5 minutes to like declutter something, our brain is not focusing on anything else because it's almost like adding more to the list, and we will keep going back to these tasks that we need to do and we don't. And it just is so much clutter, so much things. So just by having a cleaner space, by putting some things away, we will feel a lot better. So another thing that we can also do is don't fight with the current, but go with it. So there might be a lot of times where we see things happening and then we just let it affect us, where we try to do a certain thing. For example, like I was just gonna film this video and then there were a lot of people downstairs, like outside, just making a lot of sounds, like they were singing, they were making music. And rather than me being upset about it and be like, oh, well, they're ruining now my video, I'm not able to film, it's best to just stop that, you know, get in the vibe of whatever is happening out there. Because if we let it control us, if we're upset about these things, then it's gonna affect us more emotionally. So if we get upset about it, there's no point, because it still is gonna happen. I'm not gonna be like, hey, like, be quiet, just because I know it's not gonna be happening for like hours. It's just is something, I'm not gonna kill their mood, and I'm not gonna kill mine as well, just because they're having fun. So I think there is a time for everything. Still need to adapt to certain things. So if we can change our environment, it's good. We should not let the other environment affect us. I think we can learn to accept certain things and be like, okay, well, this is happening now, it's not gonna happen forever. So if we try to just fight against it, it's gonna be worse for us. And then on a similar topic as well is we cannot always be in control. So we can try to control whatever is happening there, but we can't. There's things that we do need to let go and accept whatever is going on. And then when we realize that we cannot control everything, I think that's when we start letting go. We get a bit more freedom. And then we feel less pressure in doing things correctly just because we realize we cannot fix everything. There's things that just naturally happen, and that's okay. And then that's a way to actually enjoy life more because you're not trying to fix every little thing. It's like, you know, whatever is happening out there, it's part of life, good, and just do something else for yourself. Okay, well, hopefully you enjoyed one of those points. Let me know if you did. Write a comment if there's any points that you liked, and maybe if there's one that you actually want to put into your life. Okay, well, bye.